Have you grown in a home where your mother had a full-time job? If so, you are not alone. I myself grew up in a home where my mother had a full-time job. She worked full-time and was never around the house as much as I had hoped when I was a child. About 68% of mothers in the United States hold a job while trying to raise children. I think mothers should be stay-at-home moms and take care of the children unless they desperately need the income or their husband jobs fail. But remember, the children need them too. Motherhood is the most sacred and important job that a mother could have. Mothers should not work because the kids need them. They could easily wear themselves out, and the cost of daycare is just way too expensive. Kids need their mothers. They really, really need them. Mothers should not work a full-time job because, most importantly, the kids need their mothers. Mothers nurture, care, and love for their children and can't withhold completely if they are working all day. While I was growing up, there were many times I would come home from school just needing a hug from my mother, or maybe even help with homework, or anything that she needs to fulfill her duty with whenever I was home. But she was never there for me. She was always there to fulfill her duty as a mother whenever she wasn't at work, which seemed to be all the time. I think moms should stay home with their kids and teach them the good and the bad. Why leave them alone when you don't even know what they were doing? That's how kids and teenagers learn how to do bad stuff and are negatively influenced because they don't have the influence of righteousness from their parents. Your responsibility is taking care of your children. Let the father work. Some kids feel lonely because their parents work a lot, but the kids are always first. We always need to put the kids first. They are God's children, and we need to help them live in these last days. There is no other relationship in this world than a mother and her children. It is so important to keep a strong relationship and a strong bond to keep love in their lives. My mom is my best friend. The time I had with her was valuable and something I will cherish forever. I learned so much from her, and I would not be the same person I am today if she wasn't that huge impact on my life and was there for me when she wasn't at work and when she was doing her motherly duties. A lot of times, moms miss out on very huge things in the kids' life, such as their first words, which is one of the biggest things in motherhood that they cherish and that they love. It's first words, their first steps, their play dates, and their school classes once they get older, etc. Mothers get tired very, very often with trying to work a full-time job and trying to raise their children. Mothers who are trying to carry a load of a full-time job and trying to raise their kids after a long day would be absolutely exhausted. When do they get a break? They don't. Do they have time to cook and feed the children after a long, hard day at work? They may not even have time to help their children with their homework and read them a bedtime story. All kids cherish and love those moments, and the mother is not there to provide it for them. If they do these things, they wear themselves out and are too tired to do things to accomplish in their own personal life because they're worried about their kids. Many new mothers suffer from extreme tiredness, even 4 months after giving birth, prompting experts warn that they should not hurry back to work if they are working a full-time job. There was a study shown that half of new mothers were excessively sleepy 18 weeks into motherhood. The findings have significant impacts for decision-making about the length of maternity leave. It would be heartbreaking to hear your little boy or your girl crying for their mothers as they left for work each day. It would be so tiring hearing that every day and feeling bad about it. Mothers need to relax and love on their kids. Mothers were called of God, and they should raise them with a connection with their families and their Heavenly Father. Is a nanny really worth it? Families get a nanny or a daycare to take care of their children as mother and the father are working, trying to provide income for the family. Daycares are really expensive. How much income would they really be making if they had to have their child stay at a daycare all day? Would the small income really make that much a difference? It is possible to find daycares that aren't as expensive as others, but as most things in today's society, you pay for what you get. Everyone obviously wants their children to be safe and have the best environment possible, so they are willing to pay more money for the better quality of the daycare. Mothers need to stay home with the kids instead of wasting the money on a nanny or a daycare. Mothers should stay home and raise their own children. Mothers who place their babies, especially newborn babies, in daycare and leave them there 40 to 50 hours per week are causing irritable damage to development of the baby. They will grow up in some sort of attachment disorder. Most children are left in daycare these days, and that is one reason why crime rate is so high, why prisons are overcrowded, why bullying is so rampant in school, why school violence is prevalent. We are raising unattached consciousness children because we are leaving them at 5 to 6 weeks old in the care of inadequate, poorly staffed daycare centers, and our babies are growing up without the capacity to love, feel empathy and compassion, to have healthy relationships with people. It would be a law for someone, whether the mother and the father, to stay home and care for the baby until the child reaches the age to attend preschool. Being a mother is a full-time job. Mothers need to take responsibility to take care and provide love for their children. Mothers should not work because the kids need them. They will wear themselves out, and the cost of daycare is just too much. There is no greater blessing than being a mother, and that is what sets them apart from men. We hold different responsibilities, and being a mother is something special. Women raise God's children in love and righteousness so they can, one day, return to live with Him again.